Welcome, everyone, to the Color of Success. I am your host, Dr. Michelle S. Thomas. Listen, I created this channel because in my travels, I hear all the time from business leaders, from business professionals, and especially entrepreneurs that we don't know what's next. What do I do now? This isn't what I expected. And so I wanted to create the Color of Success to really get you the insights of what it looks like to be a business owner, not the postable stuff, not the cute stuff, but the real down dirty about what it means to run your own business. And there's some really, really great moments as a business owner, but there are a whole lot of obstacles and setbacks that you need to understand how to overcome in order for you to reach the level of success that you expect. Today's message is going to be talking about one of the barriers that I feel like is the first barrier that most new entrepreneurs and transitioning entrepreneurs. So let me clarify. When I say new, I mean that you are new into the entrepreneurial space. That doesn't mean that you are young. That doesn't mean that you haven't been in business. There's a lot of people that are transitioning from the corporate space into owning their own business or pursuing their passion, which classifies you as a new entrepreneur. In that transition or in that launch, we all, every last person, experiences what our topic is for today, which is called business bondage.
Welcome to the Color of Success with Dr. Michelle, a space designed especially for women of color to unlock our fullest potential in business, leadership, and life. Through expert insights, personal experiences, and inspiring interviews, we're going to dive deeply into the challenges and triumphs of being a woman of color in today's world. Subscribe for weekly videos that will help you to navigate your personal growth, entrepreneurial success, emotional wellness, and more. Now, back to today's topic.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen, the only thing that I need for you to do is sit back, listen. If you're not able to watch this on YouTube, you'll be able to hear it on my podcast, Trailblazers Business Podcast for Women, and be able to plug it in the car or wherever you're at, sitting at your desk. Listen to these tools and tips that I'm going to give to you. But to today's message, business bondage, man, what does that mean? Oftentimes we leave our careers or our corporate jobs or whatever we're doing to pursue this entrepreneur dream. Even students, when I graduate from school, I'm going to start and launch my own business. And so the actual parameters of launching a business are quite simple. You create a name, you register the business, you get an EIN number, and then you go into what your business process is. And those steps, yes, are simple. And we listen to those steps oftentimes from people who are experts on this is all you need to do. But what you rarely hear about is what's next. What you rarely get a chance to get an insight of is now that I've registered a business, what happens now? And the world wants you to believe that it's all about money. The world and society wants you to believe that if you don't have a certain level of money in your bank account, then you're not able to be successful. I'm here to tell you that it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with your mindset, which we as a people, especially as people of color, we have generations of being taught how to live in bondage. Whether that's the bondage of go to school, go to work that job, hate the job, make somebody else wealthy, and now you want to step into your own business. Whether that's the bondage of money is going to solve all of my problems, or whether that's the bondage of I am not good enough. Whatever your bondage is, it will show up as you enter into this entrepreneur journey. And those of you who know me know that I am not a preacher, I'm nobody's pastor, but I want to connect this to a biblical passage and in the book of Exodus. Exodus means exit. In the book of Exodus, it's a story about the Israelites who have been in captivity under Pharaoh for generations. That's what they became used to. They got their food from them. They got their money. They were able to get their housing. Every step of the way, they were led and told exactly what to do. Well, along comes Moses, and Moses says to Pharaoh, let my people go. And the stories that we hear is that it's this great instant thing, but that's not how it happened. Moses had to go back to Pharaoh a number of times because each time that he went to Pharaoh, Pharaoh told him no. Moses would go back to God and tell God, I don't have the voice for this. How is it that you're sending me to go and speak to this powerful person and demand that I let these people go? The people that are the slaves for him, the people that make him money, the people that take care of all of the things that he wants them to. How do you want me as one man to stand in front of this man and gain his respect and have him to do what you're asking me to tell him to do? And so God brought in someone with a different voice to speak with Moses, to speak for Moses. I'm telling you because there's someone out there that believes that you aren't able to fulfill your assignment because you don't have the voice for it, because you're not popular or you don't have the followers or you don't have the likes that other people have. But I'm here to tell you that you have to keep trying. You can develop that voice. You can develop that following. But if every time that you reach that obstacle, you decide that you want to quit, you'll never achieve your goals. So after a number of times and a number of levels, like different levels of negotiation, then Pharaoh said, okay, well, in order for the people, the Israelites, to leave Egypt and go to the land of Canaan, which was supposed to be their promised land, where they're supposed to get exactly what they want. Come on, business leaders. If I just start my business, I am going to be able to live the life that I'm expected to live. I just need to get there. Once I started, once I get into business, then everything that I've ever imagined, everything that I ever desired is just going to be at my fingertips because I have the money and the resources and the power and the influence to be able to get it. Well, that's not how business works. God had Moses to take the Israelites, not directly to Canaan, but take them around through the wilderness. And during the time that they were in the wilderness, and this is what struck me, and I've read this passage forever. They were in the wilderness for 40 years, and I kept thinking, wow, that's a long time, man, to be stuck in the wilderness with no resources, without any of the things that I was used to having. I'm stuck. Well, that's what the Israelites felt like. They felt stuck. They were mad at Moses. How did you leave? How did you take us away from our homes and our jobs and where we were comfortable and where we were used to what we need to do every day and bring us out here in the wilderness where we don't have anything, where we don't have any of those resources, and convince us or try to convince us that this is a better life? Back to business. You worked for a company that you liked or didn't like. You worked in industries that you liked or didn't like, but there was a passion that was burning inside of you that you said, I want to pursue. So you watched every YouTube video, you listened to everybody out there, you registered your business and you got into the business, and there you sit in the wilderness of business. Why is today's message so important for you, especially as you're starting out? Because oftentimes as a people, if you have become accustomed to living in the world of bondage, in the world of lack, you begin to accept it as your norm. So even though you didn't like the job that you worked in, the industry that you did, you will find yourself when you sit in the wilderness of running your business, when you don't have the money to pay all the bills, when you're not growing as fast as you need to, when you have more debt than what you have as income coming in, you will find yourself wanting to go back into bondage because it worked. It worked for me. It worked for my parents. It worked for my grandparents. Maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to do. But I'm here to tell you there is not a business out there. I don't care what size that business is, how big it is, or how often you see it. There is not a business owner out there that has launched a business that has not sat in the wilderness. Even when people talk about instant windfalls, when people talk about, oh, well, I was able to get this venture capital fund to give me the money, the seed money for me to be able to launch this business, that's great. But if you don't know the business, if you don't understand the principles, if you don't have the tools necessary to be able to sustain that business, then that seed money is quickly going to go away. My job, my assignment is to teach you the business operations. It's to get you in the understanding of what money actually is, what capital means, what that asset actually means to your business, and how to utilize those resources even when you don't have them. So eventually the Israelites made it to Canaan, but the purpose of them being in the wilderness for so long is before you get to the land of milk and honey, before you get to everything that you ever dreamed of, you have to be able to understand yourself where that comes from. You have to be able to know how to manage little to nothing before you get to any and everything. You have to understand and respect what money will do and what it won't do for you, what influence will do and what it won't do for you. You have to be able to manage when you sit at that desk in the dark of night and you don't have lights and you don't have fans and you don't have people to speak to cheer you on and tell you that, yes, this is the right move. See, here's the thing about when you work for another company. Every day you know where to go sit. Every day you understand what your job is because it was in the job description. Every day you have levels of people above you that will tell you exactly what is expected of you every single day. But when it's your own, if you cannot navigate that, if you cannot help yourself make those very hard decisions, if you do not have the tools to be able to operate in a level that you've never seen before. I tell people all the time, what makes our business fail is not because we're not smart. We're some of the smartest people in the country, in the world. It's not because you don't have the passion for it. It's because you enter into your entrepreneur journey from the mindset of an employee. You want someone else to help you make these decisions. So you're able and you're equipped to make decisions up to the level that you have the experience of. So if you were a manager or a VP, you can make decisions up to that level. But even as a VP, there was someone above you that made the bigger decisions, that made the harder decisions, that still gave you parameters of how to navigate your job. So as an entrepreneur, those barriers, those bumpers, think about bowling, where you put the guards up in bowling. So that means that your ball won't jump or fall into the gutter. So when you're an entrepreneur, you want the barriers. You want the guardrails. You want the safety net so that you can be able to manage this and reach your level of success without any type of obstacles. But in order for you to build a sustainable business, in order for you to build a business that's going to make you money, in order for you to build something that is going to last through generations, you have to take those bumper guards off. Because it requires for you to drop into that gutter ball. It requires for you to hit those obstacles. It requires for you to have those setbacks. It requires for you to sit some years in that wilderness in order for you to gain the muscle and the mindset to pull your business through. So we start our business and we're in the mindset of an employee. And when the hard decisions come up, or the people that we bring in to help us no longer support us, or we have to fire somebody, or people aren't no, they're no longer liking our stuff as much as they liked it before. We prefer, our mind will tell us to go back into bondage, go back into the very space that we didn't want in the first place because that was familiar. So I'm here to give you some tools. Okay, Dr. Michelle, so you done preached at us and yelled at us and pointed out all the problems. What's the solution? Solution number one, you have to be careful of the resources that you bring into your business, whether that's financial resources, whether that's educational resources, or that's advice that you have from someone. You can't listen to everybody. The reason that I use the story about them in the wilderness is there are times that you are going to have to sit in your wilderness. You are going to have to sit with yourself and figure out where you want your business to go. You can't have fans. You can't have someone that's always telling you yes and cheering you on, because you may be headed in the direction that is not really productive for your business. So, what I need you to do is I need you to understand, number one, what do I need? Now, in order for you to figure out what you need, that means that you have to do a complete inventory of what you already have. What do you know? What do you not know? What is it that you're lacking that is required in business? Okay, well, Dr. Michelle, how am I supposed to know what's required in business? That brings me to number two. You have to spend time or listen to or find the voice of someone who's been through what you're going through. From the stage, I always say that you position yourself with people that are where you want to be, not where you are. And this is not postable where I want to be. This is not because somebody put it out there. Vet your source. Ask some questions. If they offering a free discovery session, spend time with them, not from the perspective of them interviewing you. You need to interview them. But prepare for that. Do your inventory and figure out what you need and position your questions to that coach, to that consultant, to that mentor or navigator or advisor or whoever you're leaning on. Ask the exact questions for the needs that you have. Don't allow them to control the narrative, because this is your business. Number three, you have to find your voice. Not a voice for fans, but a voice for business. There are times that you don't have to fight for everything. There are places that you shouldn't be in. Maybe you didn't get that speaking engagement. Maybe you weren't able to connect with that person because you're not ready yet. And so the relationship that you want to build with the person at the level that they're at, if you meet them prematurely, you may eliminate your ability to build the bond that you need to have in order for you to take your business to the next level, because you're not ready yet. Find your voice. Be able to ask the questions in the spaces. We all talk about networking, but if you're going into networking just because you are trying to be seen and you're trying to be heard and you're just talking off the top of your head, guess what that's going to do with your credibility? People are going to stop listening. So when I say find your voice, I mean this is the voice of the inventory that you've already done with yourself. But let me just also caution you. People become suspicious when all you want to do is pull. Pull. Give me this, tell me this, guide me in this. Networking is about relationships. You may not have their money, but what do you have? What can you offer? And let me caution, advice may not be your thing. Walking into someone who's way above where your business is, you may not want to walk up to them to give them some advice or some coaching on what they need to do better. Sometimes that voice is smart enough to know when not to speak, when to take in the information that's around you, when to listen to them have a conversation with someone else. And you listen and you pull from that exactly what you need because you've done the inventory on what your needs are and pull the resources that you need to make them applicable for the stages that you're in. And why do I say it that way? Because business is just like a baby. There are stages and phases that your business is going to go through that's going to require a different level of resource. If you're trying to run your business for years with the same types of resources and the same operation and the same thing, you're going to receive your input or your rewards of what you're putting out there year over year will begin to diminish, despite what people want to tell you. Consistency is great. But if you're not researching your industry, if you don't know what shifts that are out there, if you aren't up on the new technology, if you're not up on the deliverables that come within the industry that you're within, then you're going to find yourself and render yourself obsolete. So listen, attend industry level conferences. Not just because you need to see the stars, not just because you want to be in there with somebody that you watched on reality TV. That's not going to help your business. It may help your personal life. It may make you feel better, but it's not going to grow your business. Do your research. Find conferences and expos and events that speak directly to the industry that you are within. But here's the caveat. It has to speak to the level that you're at. If you're just not starting out and you're attending because everybody else is attending and it's a really big popular conference and I want to be there because everybody in the world attends it, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to spend a lot of time. You may dance a lot and meet a lot of people, but you will get back to that office and not be able to apply not 1 ounce of the information that you learn because you're not ready for it. Find spaces that can actually speak to what your business need is. We spend a lot of time moving so fast that we don't stop long enough to find out what's not working. Why am I not making any money? You got to spend time in your wilderness. And number 4, you have to forget fear. Because as an entrepreneur, if you allow fear to consume you, it will break you down and put you back into bondage. You are walking in spaces that you've never seen, and oftentimes people around you have never seen. But if you have the vision of where you know you're supposed to go, my pastor talked about sight and vision. He said sight gets you in to the corner. You can see exactly what's in front of you. Vision allows you to see what's around the corner. Come on, somebody. Are you seeing your business or are you visualizing your business? Do you know why you are in this business? Do you understand what the output and the outcome of the reason that you started the business? Or are you just not navigating with what you see? Are you online all day trying to find somebody that's going to give you every step of what needs to happen with your business? Well, if you don't have the vision of where this business is supposed to be, what you're supposed to actually be doing, you're going to find yourself just taking in information that you cannot apply. So I'm running out of my time. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember that first, that what the first thing that you need to do is you need to do your inventory. You need to be able to understand what the assets that you have, what the assets and the resources that you need, what you are capable of doing and strong enough to do, and what you need assistance with. I need you to also make sure that you are finding the right resources, not resources that somebody told you that you need. But if you did the inventory, then you now actively will seek out the resources that you need to be able to make this business work. And then find your voice, but find the voice that speaks for your business. Not the voice that speaks for you, not the voice that speaks for the pain points that you have, not the voice that speaks to the insecurities and all of the things and the trauma that has happened. See, that's a voice right there, but that voice doesn't have a place in your business. Find your business voice. Speak for your business at all times. And the fourth thing that I need you to do is forget that fear. It's not going to be cute. I could stand here in front of you and make it out of beds of roses and tell you that once you get all this figured out, then money and manna and everything is going to fall from the sky. It's not. As I'm talking to you right now, as I'm having this conversation with you right now, some of the biggest businesses that you watch, that you shop, that you frequent, that you listen to, that you attend their conferences, they're sitting in a conference room right now with all of their managers, VPs, and leaders, and they're talking about how they have to survive. Oftentimes, when you've never had the seat at the table, you look at the success and the revenue and the stocks and the money and the cars that people drive, and you think, if I could just get there, my life will be complete. But what I'm here to tell you is you can get there, but in order for you to stay there, the same tools that I'm giving to you today, you have to continue to rinse and repeat on different levels. But if you don't understand the core and the foundation from the beginning, you'll never reach to that level. And if you do reach that level, we see the stories all the time of windfalls and lottery winners, etc., that within 2 to 3 years, they're back in a worse place before they had the windfall. And that's because they didn't have the tools in place to make it sustainable. As an entrepreneur, there's got to be some dexterity, some bounce back. The bumper guards are off. You got to fail some in order for you to find your success. That's my time for today. The only thing I'm asking you to do, I got this from my pastor, I ask you to do is, if this resonated with you, share it with someone else. Give someone else the opportunity to listen to what they might need to hear to unlock their mindset in order to achieve the success that they want to have. I'll see you on the next episode. Tune in to The Color of Success. Right now, I'm currently in a series that's called Skills Translation. And the reason that I'm doing Skills Translation is, again, what I talk about during that inventory. You need to understand how the very skill sets that you have right now, you can take those and translate it into new industries, translate it into new revenue streams, translate it into new opportunities. But unless someone teaches you how to look at that skill set from a different lens, you'll continue to recycle and cycle into the same and miss opportunities that you could take advantage of. Again, I'm Dr. Michelle S. Thomas. I thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next episode.